Hey, thanks for taking the time to, well, you haven't got any choice, actually. I'm just talking at you, if you like. But I'm here also to present to you why I think it's not a bad idea and not that expensive as well if you become a member. And this is how you can do it, and this is what you can gain. So if we look here at the Talking Tennis sort of homepage, if you like, on YouTube, we can see this little button here which says join. It is also pinned in the live chat as well, and you can also, I think, see it just below most of our videos, certainly the live ones and so on. Now, why is it a good idea to join and become a member? Well, in the live chat, you can add little funny things, you can add emojis and all sorts of things, but possibly more importantly, you can get to access some live videos, such as this one here, where we look back on the last sort of few moments from the Billie Jean King Cup. So there are little bonuses such as this one, but there are many, many more. And in fact, if we have a quick look at all of the members only stuff, I repeat, you will see very, very quickly some of the top stuff that we've had for members only over the last 12 months since the channel began. Remember, these videos are for members only. You can become a member from as little as about $2 a month, €2 a month, £2 a month, something like that. There are various different things. Oh, and by the way, you'll also be supporting the channel. So it's a win-win-win-win scenario. Let me just show you some of the members only stuff. For example, we've got an exclusive little clip there talking to Laura Siegmund, Laura Tsurenko, her encore interview, some doubles footage there from Monastir, the Germany press conference pre-tournament Billie Jean King Cup, Claire Burrell talking as well to the media in her press conference in Monastir, Storm Hunter and Alicia Parks interview, Rebecca Masarova, her press conference, Coco Gauff exclusive for members only, albeit it was in Madrid, but these are just some of the things, some of the interviews and etc. Like Lestienne here, a chat with him, Emma Navarro, and so on and so forth. So many little bonus videos available for just €2 a month. So what are you waiting for? Become a member. Or don't. It's okay. There were some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. Australia was 2 hours 28 minutes, today was 2:26. I'm sure you weren't aware of that, but I tell you, 4 championship points. Does that sound familiar? And were you thinking of it during that last game?
Actually, yes, I was thinking when I was down with the break in the last game. I was thinking, okay, I did it at the Australia Open, so probably I'll be able to get this win this time again, and it's actually helped me to stay focused and to have this belief in myself. And yeah, definitely this match reminds a lot of Australia Open match.
My name is Clara Tauson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jaime Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Yo, yes, Jake, how was my nap today? That was actually one of the better ones because yesterday I was supposed to do a stream at 1 a.m. and I think I finished the nap like 40 minutes ahead of the stream. So that was like, I didn't feel like I wasted, I didn't feel like I used up all my time effectively. So that one was a little worse. Today was like 2.5 hours, which is good. And it was like directly, I woke up directly for the stream, which is great. It was going to be a little longer, but a friend of mine called like just before I was going to bed, of course, for my birthday. So, I had to talk to him for like half an hour. So, by the way, it's not my birthday anymore. If anyone is joining in, stop the happy birthdays. It's gone now, but it was still the case 3 hours ago. Anyway, I did wake up though with 50 Cent in my head, in the club when it starts like with "Yo, shorty, it's your birthday." I don't know why. Anyway, never mind. That's not important at the moment. What is important at the moment is Clara Tauson playing Aryna Sabalenka in the Australian Open. Last year, she lost to a Belarusian as well, Clara, at the Australian Open. She lost to not Vera Lapko, not Alexandra Sasnovich, but Victoria Azarenka. Now she's going to play Aryna Sabalenka. A little bit of a tougher matchup. I was just going over her Australian Open history because, of course, a few years back, I think 3, in fact, Clara defeated Anett Kontaveit here, which was at the time a very big win. Anett was, I think, number 2 in the world after that 2021 season, maybe number 3 in the world. And it just felt like Clara Tauson will be on the top of the sport soon. It never really materialized, but maybe now, she's just won a title, even if Naomi Osaka says that she like tactically gave her that. Sure, fine, okay, she didn't win the final, but still getting a lot of matches in, getting a lot of good performances in, it's huge. I mean, Jake, what you're saying about Tauson, instead of her chances in the matchup, I guess that's really the most important part about anyone's chances against Sabalenka. If you're like such a massive ball striker as Clara, like, are you still a massive ball striker compared to Aryna? So I kind of want to see that. Can she still play her aggressive game against someone who's got that sort of weight of shot? Because as you said, if she's put on the back foot, it's going to be tricky. If she's put on the back foot constantly, then I guess she has to like really, start thinking out of the box. And I also don't think that's Clara's really like strong suit for the time being. But yeah, I mean, some players just like still actually are able to pursue Sabalenka in a out hitting, like a big hitting contest. I mean, Polina Kudermetova did that in the Brisbane final, and yeah, I mean, his first point, by the way. I know she misses the drive volley, Clara, but yeah, that was kind of exactly, I guess, what she wants here. Got that nice forehand line going. And yeah, if she can kind of play tennis like this, play pretty freely and not be overwhelmed by that weight of shot, let's put an example to it. Like, I don't know, I remember last year I was doing commentary on Hriyet Minen playing Rybakina at the French. And what does Hriyet Minen want to do on the court? Like, hit a decent serve and then like go inside in, inside out with the forehand really and dominate an opponent playing like this. And against Rybakina, she was just 5 meters behind the baseline defending all the time. So that's not really ideal, obviously. And she lost that match like 0-6, 2-6, or whatever the scoreline was. Anyway, I mean, so far it's looking pretty promising. Sabalenka here hitting a pretty good backhand cross-court. Tauson gets a bit more height on that, and eventually the error with it. But yeah, I mean, just like playing a lot on the defense isn't really going to work out for Clara, but maybe there's going to be a chance for her simply in actually trying to hit through Sabalenka and being a little more like an earlier ball striker than her sometimes even. You know, she's got elite ball striking talent. Like she cannot just like say, oh no, now I'm playing Sabalenka, I have to like mix in slices or something. Not really. So far, it's a great start from Tauson, actually. I know, yeah, again, she lost the first point, but she probably should have won it. And it's 2 break points for Sabalenka. It feels like the hitting from Clara has been a bit more lively. She's getting a lot of first strike tennis here off the return. And yeah, ideally, that's, I guess, what she wants to do. There's really not that much in terms of like... I don't want to say tennis IQ, but yeah, I mean, sort of, right? I mean, Clara is just an elite ball striking talent, but after that, sometimes the other parts of her game can look rough around the edges. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, first game goes to the Dane. It's a break right away. I know it's just a break. It's just an opening game. It's on the WTA. It probably doesn't matter all that much. And it's just a few sloppy early errors from Sabalenka. But, you know, it looked like Clara can rush her. And she had very good timing on some of these big Sabalenka shots to get it going. What is this? Okay, so they're already showing us the win predictor on the screen. Wow, yeah, so important. 9% for Clara pre-match, and now she's at 14% after breaking. Incredible. 5% chance. Oh, hi, Maciej, who just became a member. Thank you for that. The only way Sabalenka loses before SF is picking Vekic. I think in the last couple of years, people started really like believing in Aryna's reliability. And I partially get that. I partially don't. Like, you still get days and matches when Sabalenka is just, you know, really off her targets, and you can actually be there. Like, it probably doesn't really matter on one of these days, like who you are. Wow. Okay, Clara Tauson here. I mean, there was a point here on return where Sabalenka is this time like kind of producing some early aggression, Tauson style from the last game, and what a lovely backhand drop shot that was from the Dane actually. Well, it was a slice first, kind of like a shorter one, and Sabalenka is inside the court theoretically, but then Clara still surprising her with that option. Anyway, yeah, so I think, you know, you can probably still beat Sabalenka on an off day, like most players can, but indeed they just haven't been happening in slams, right? It's been ages since she lost an early slam round. Of course, she didn't play Wimbledon last year, but that was an injury. Ooh. I mean, both players are getting so much aggression on the return here. It's actually like, yeah, they have an easier time attacking when they are starting the points theoretically from behind here. This is just such a massive forehand crosscourt from Aryna. Plenty of spin on it and just barely making it, you know, the trajectory barely swirling it into the court. Anyway, 15-0 for Tauson. Again, the first serve is missed. That will definitely be a little tougher to handle. And yes, indeed, Sabalenka is so quick to step up. She's got that inside in backhand going for the winner. 127 kilometers an hour on that shot. Was it the same speed as the Tauson serve? Actually, it was a little slower, 148 Clara, but yeah, the second serves are getting attacked so far from both players. Vekic, I understand also probably Maciej mentioned because of the head-to-head between the two, right? Tauson trying to go to the net. I think she's, well, not complaining, but she's suggesting that she was a little confused there with the sun in her eyes, and she decides to go for this like soft backhand overhead, which is going to hit the tape but stay on her side. So 2 breakpoints right back for Sabalenka. Is it just going to be one of these matches indeed where they just smash away at each other's serves? Perhaps. I mean, obviously it's just a massive contest. And whoever comes off the court victorious today, they will have hit plenty of murderous shots. That's a nice second serve though for Tauson. This time she doesn't allow Sabalenka to attack like this. It's just a lot of depth on that. It's at the body. You can see on the replay very clearly how Aryna has almost no space to perform that forehand swing. And she's going to be a little late. So 1 more breakpoint for her to kill that small shot win predictor change that they were showing. I'm sorry, I'm definitely not going to be talking about that too much, but it's kind of funny for me. Yeah, I mean, the second serve was kind of like coming in a little too often in this game for Tauson, and she does get broken. Sabalenka this time not going for any like risky target, but just strong back and cross court, and it's gonna be the break. So yeah, I mean, they both started really aggressively on return, just rushing the other, and yeah. Hopefully more of that sort of tennis from the underdog, especially, whom, we just like to see it we just like to see it competitive. And as a player who, of course, spent the last few years basically injured most of the time, Tauson, of course, could use another big Grand Slam performance. I think it's also one of these like examples where even being very competitive against Sabalenka here is already kind of a win for Tauson if she can get that done. Nice angle on the second serve from Sabalenka, out wide. She stretches Tauson her forehand and going to make her miss that one. Maybe that's sort of like, I mean, with what we're seeing so far, maybe placing your second serves, I mean, pretty aggressively could also be a great strategy for either player, as clearly they will be hoping to attack, hoping to pounce on anything short. This second serve is a little bit more conventional, and you can already see that, it will be much tougher. Sabalenka has that backhand down the line opening, but again, there's just not much time with how Clara took it away. And now 15-all should be a bit of a snappy, match in terms of not that many longer rallies, obviously. Hopefully the quality of the hitting will deliver, though. Forehand cross-court exchange. They're switching now. Tauson going with her backhand down the line. She is in control of the point, but can she survive against the Sabalenka slices? Probably not here. I think, Clara could have done a little bit better, just like cutting off the angle of that final volley. Great shot here down the line. She finds the baseline with it more or less, approaches the net, but she wasn't quite ready for that slice pass down the line. And then Aryna just has an easy pick up there at the end. That's another insane return from Tauson, though. The backhand cross. The pressure is on the 2-time defending champion and the world number 1. She definitely just knows that she cannot afford routine second serves like this, 140 down the middle with not much kick, not much slice. There's some tigers on her shoes. And we're getting a close-up of that as she is preparing for yet another second serve. So definitely low percentages from both players so far in that department. It is allowing the opponent to try to get that first strike in, which Tauson does here. Sabalenka has the open court, but she's gonna miss it. So it's another break point for the Dane. Again, you're kind of just looking at, okay, yeah, she had a line opportunity, but she was rushed. So it's similar as the second point in this game, right? When that was actually on the outside, this one was on the deuce side, but like, yeah, the first ball, you can see Aryna is trying to go for the line basically, and she only really fails to execute it because there's no, there's not that, there's not that much time. There's a loopy forehand return from Tauson, which I don't think she really meant it like this, but she was just reacting and briefly, but barely getting to the ball. It bounces very close to the baseline. It bounces pretty high, and Sabalenka is going to completely mishit her forehand. So it's 3 breaks in a row so far. I like that. Oh, and John is here. I actually didn't know he was going, but I see now. Yeah, seems to be that guy in terms of the coaching. It seems to be that guy who is sitting there. But to be honest with you, I don't know. I know that Clara's dad was a tennis player, but I don't think he is doing that. Not
What's the question?
About the coach of Tauson.
So there's a guy, a Danish guy, who was the coach. I'm just plugging my microphone in, but right now it's not plugged in. There was a guy who was the coach of Runa. I've not seen him, by the way, so it might not be him, but I saw him after one of these tournaments in Welash, maybe the Billie Jean King Cup kind of promotion, relegation, or playoffs, whatever. And I saw him at the train station a few hours later, and I was like, you were Holger Rune's old coach, weren't you? And he said, yeah, but I'm now with Clara Tauson, a guy with a beard, a former player. Is that the guy? Was it got a white beard, the guy?
I mean, actually, the one you're talking about, I don't think he's a former player, but he is with Rune again.
Oh, he's back with Rune?
If we're talking about the same guy, I mean, Lars Christensen, then yeah.
Yeah, I think it sort of thin white beard.
Yeah. I mean, grey hair, beard, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he had a stint with Tauson, I think.
Very possible, yeah. But that was, of course, like the part of the whole carousel, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, there's always a bit of a merry-go-round with Rune. I'm actually gonna have my camera on, but I'm not gonna speak. So just gonna put myself on mute for about 5 minutes while I just finish something, and then I'll be with you permanently.
Okay. Well, Tauson starting with a couple of unreturned serves in the fourth game, so hopefully for her she can get her first hold. We've got, of course, another 2 singles matches going on right now as well between Pavlyuchenkov and Zygmunt. 6-1 for the Russian, by the way, very quick there, although they did start half an hour earlier than Sabalenka Tauson and Schneider Vekic. And speaking of Schneider Vekic, it is 2 games all. Ozan is mentioning the head-to-heads. No, the head-to-head, sorry, what I'm talking about. The order of play for doubles and mixed doubles today. So, well, if you want to talk about that, then I'll definitely maybe have a look. Oh, by the way, Pavlashek and Royer are down a set to Martinez Munar already. Lovely forehand winner from Tauson so far, as this definitely is a good start in just showing us she can not get overwhelmed by that Sabalenka ball. And even if Aryna is accelerating, Clara's timing has been very nice, and just she hasn't been forced to get on that back foot too much, despite the weight of shot coming in from Aryna. Maybe it's just some sort of like beginning of the match. Maybe she's just re-feeling it, and maybe it won't be like this all the time, but we'll see. By the way, another drop shot from Tauson here. I don't hate it for the love. I don't think it was executed too poorly either, but Sabalenka is so quick there. I'm actually more surprised that she was able to like get to it. So yeah, I mean, that was quite a sprint actually, and still gets a lot of good technique on that redrop. Still gets a lot of control, even though it felt like she was speeding towards the net. Perhaps not the first player you'd think of when you just think of drop shot retrievers and how quick they can get to the net, but she does show that part of her game is very much there. And is that a double fault from Tauson? Yes. So that 40 love can now get a little bit more edgy. 40-30. She was trying to go again for that really deep second serve at the middle, which could be a strategy today, definitely, with the way that both for both players, with the way that Aryna and Clara are setting up. But anyway, she doesn't get it. We'll have to play another second serve here at 40-30. So maybe I was a little too quick to say that at 40 love, playing a drop shot like this is fine. Maybe it now actually gets tricky. Aryna going backhand line. Clara will be trying to recover with a loopier shot. She actually does it pretty well. Throws in the slice as well. She's on the back foot. She's going to try to hit a forehand pass. But that's a great volley from Sabalenka. So we are at deuce now with 3 consecutive points in a row going towards the world number 1 and the 2-time defending champion. What's there that's really stacked about the doubles lineup then? I guess on the men's I don't really have all that much that I would want to watch today. But right now the women's doubles definitely with Siniakova Tauson playing Aoyama Hozumi. I think it's a very exciting match. We've got another one for Sie Ostapenko, who have to be like a crowd favorite pairing, I imagine. And of course, there's lots of mixed action as well. And that, I think, has a lot of classic round 1 matchups potentially, especially Mladenovic Dodik against Zhang and Bopana. That really stands out to me. Ooh, and that slice is going to be into the net from Tauson. She is trying to mix up play quite a bit, actually, in some of these exchanges where she's not maybe on the front foot necessarily, but this is going to be a second break point of the match for Sabalenka, who is one. Well, actually, she didn't convert one. Sorry, so she is 1 out of 2. Tauson's 2 out of 2. But well, basically, we're going for the 4th straight break. This is the most important part. And Tauson was 40 love on serve in this game. This serve at the body of Sabalenka was a bit better. I think it barely got over the net and definitely was quite uncomfortable for the Belarusian to hit. From 40 love, obviously, this isn't really like a hold that you'd say was courageous or something like that, considering it could have ended 3-4 points earlier, but it could still be pretty massive for Clara if she can claim it. But now she's going to be under pressure again on that second serve. Sabalenka moving back a little bit, but she is there right away with the backhand attack. And she's going to force an error. I guess this match is probably going to be like this, right? I mean, just not maybe the most thrilling in terms of the potential rallies that we're going to get. Although we've had a couple of great points. Actually, both I think, featured Aryna at the net, which is quite interesting. But yeah, there's going to be just so much of this return aggression, and whoever gets the first strike, whoever gets to take time away, will be coming out on top. Wasn't quite the case for that Anett Kontaveit win for Clara 3 years back. But of course, that was now ages ago. And she's kind of quick to pull the trigger here, the Dane. I don't think the ball was really warranting it, but she just tries to wrong foot Aryna with this forehand that was going to have such a sharp, narrow angle. Anyway, it doesn't click. So it's 2 games all now after 4 consecutive breaks, as Sabalenka breaks back despite being love 40 down in that previous game. So that's quite massive for her to avoid going that 1-3 deficit. And Pavlyuchenkova Zygmunt, as I said already, 1 set done towards the Russian, and Schneider-Vecchi just barely starting, just like Sabalenka and Tauson. Today is yet another day at the Australian Open where they're basically just throwing in a lot of women's matches early. And I don't know. I would like to be maybe a little bit more mixed up. I don't really understand why it's not, to be honest. But I mean, it gives us a good opportunity to focus on this match. It gives us a good opportunity to kind of give some spotlight maybe to a match that probably generally I wouldn't watch if there was at least I wouldn't do a watch along for if there was something else on the men's side that I was more tempted to do at that point in time. Well, Tauson on the attack again. She goes to the net and she's going to put it in the tape on that forehand volley. I think we can definitely see that in terms of fluidity transitioning And moving forward, there's like, yeah, I mean, Sabalenka is one of the best on tour, really, even though it's not a part of her game that you will praise like a ton. And it's not a part of her game that really stands out at first glance. But Clara is a little rough. Like if she's gonna be getting to that part of the court, if she's gonna be playing in the forecourt, it will probably be a bit more out of necessity rather than anything else. And in fact, that's what it was here. Like there was just no other play after that for Sabalenka forehand squash shot. So she had to try to approach, but it just looks really clunky. And she was late to the ball, even though she probably shouldn't have. And of course, there was this previous one earlier too, right? Where Clara was getting to the net, but she's like a little too out of reach for that forehand volley against the Sabalenka slice pass. Anyway, still 15-30 though. There were a couple of good returns once more. Sabalenka tries to throw in the backhand dropper right off the first third ball basically of the rally. 7 unforced errors each from either player and 2 more breakpoints for Tauson, who has secured both her chances on the Sabalenka serve so far. Let's see if she can keep doing that and give us our 5th straight break. She's gonna be behind in this point for sure. She tries to lob Sabalenka and it's actually in. Wow. I mean, Aryna neutralizes, but that was like such an interesting moonball from Clara. The lob was like so high and so slow that I don't think she was ever really going to win the point right away. But she does win it eventually. I think there was certainly a lack of depth to her next shot, and Sabalenka could have stepped up and taken that inside out a lot better. But anyway, yeah, she breaks again. So 5 breaks in a row. She converted 3 out of 3 breakpoints so far. Only lost 1 point in this game, and she kind of should have won it really with that approach. But yeah, you can watch it on the replay now. So high on that topspin lob from Tauson. Still a very nice response from Sabalenka to run around it and put it very deep herself. If this was an indoor venue, one of these shots probably lands in the roof, to be honest. But yeah, then Clara on that topspin forehand, I think could have done a little bit better. It just like barely goes over the net. And I guess it's not the easiest shot for Aryna, just for one reason only. Like she has so much distance to cover, right? Because from the lob recovery, she's like almost at the backboard, and the shot from Tauson is a little shorter. So yeah, I think she has just like a few too many steps to cover, essentially. Just stop it with the win predictor, guys. Why are you pushing that? Stop forcing it. It's up to 20% for Clara. Congratulations. Yeah, AC was talking about it earlier too, that Tauson looks like a duck out of water at front of the court so far. I think interestingly, she's been trying to get Sabalenka to look like this sometimes with like that short slice earlier and a few of these moments when she was trying to change up pace a little bit. I guess that's somewhat at least related to simply trying to get Sabalenka out of her comfort zone. But it's pretty clear that the player who has like a little bit more in terms of, let's say, areas of the court where she feels comfortable is actually Sabalenka rather than Tauson, that's for sure. If Tauson stays healthy, how high can she go? I mean, I think she was always regarded like as a, top 10 prospect and the likes. I hope that's possible still for her. She's had so many like big injuries that could even impact her the rest of her career going forward, and maybe her body will never be like 100% right, but she actually looks pretty fine now. She doesn't have any like major tape going on, which is weird. I don't feel like I've seen her without tape since she won the Kontaveit match, maybe even in Australia 3 years ago.
Are you talking about Tauson there?
Yeah.
So, although I've got a wine glass, it is tea, but it's the only cup or something like that I had available. So, and somebody asked me what type of tea it is. I actually don't know. It just says relax on it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I get your being ironic there, Maciej, but like that's kind of what it looks like every single slam, right? That they're really just getting that stuff out of the way, which is not ideal. Okay, she has landed that drive volley, Sabalenka. Was that
I was
obvious
going to say, if
going
she missed that, that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a little too close for comfort anyway, but she makes it. Okay, yeah, maybe not. On the replay, it's like distinctly before the line. Sure, I'll give her a pass for that.
The technique didn't look great, though.
Well, there's going to be 2 more breakpoints, so we might be looking for our 6th in a row. I know there will already be some Twitter posters, who are just going to say, oh, that classic WTA match, breakfest. This is why I don't watch women's tennis. They just can't hold serve or something like that. But I mean, they're really slamming away at it, obviously, on return. Ooh.
I think ultimately, though, this is if Sabalenka gets the break here, which she does she? Oh no, yes, she does. Yeah, but she seems upset by something. What's she bothered by?
Yeah, I'm not
is it
sure.
The heat? Is it her eyes? But anyway, she's got the break. Now she's got that break. I can finish what I was saying. I think this is okay for Sabalenka. If you told me that Sabalenka's involved in a break fest, I think she eventually wins the match. I just see that eventually she's the one who's going to get her serve in order quicker. If you told me there was a set and there was one hold in the whole set, I'm backing Sabalenka to get that hold.
I don't really have an opinion on that, truthfully. Well, that's good, though. She does finally succeed, Tauson, in getting Sabalenka a little out of that comfort zone. Moves her up with the shorter slice and then instantly pounces off a very tough ball, actually. But yeah, I mean, just in terms of like overall fluidity and stuff, like, Tauson is looking a lot worse in that department when she's moving forward, when she's defending. So I guess it's just so much more important for her to stay on that front foot in these return points. So far, she's able to do it in this game. I mean, that's again just pretty fantastic. Opening up the court for herself with the wider forehand angle. She gets Sabalenka on the move. And the timing has been holding up in some of these exchanges. Yeah, I mean, Tauson obviously had the one chance that basically so far we've had to hold. So that 40 love, right? That she had on serve. Like, that looks, in hindsight, incredibly brutal that she didn't get a hold there. The first serve percentage for Aryna has to be pretty low, as she's gonna be looking for a dangerous second serve again, as otherwise Tauson will just kill it. And it was not a dangerous second serve. 133 kilometers an hour straight up into Clara's hitting zone, and yeah, she just slaps it away for a forehand cross-court return winner. So 143 kilometers an hour. So in this time we can actually say that the serve was slower than the return, and we've got 3 more breakpoints for the Dane.
Ridiculous.
I don't think she's missed one yet, and she won't miss this one either, with another backhand down the line from Sabalenka that she's just gonna be off on. And I don't think the return withstood that much pressure, actually. Anyway, 4-3, 7 breaks in a row. Is this the best match I've ever seen? No, but I mean, they are very aggressive on return, so I'm kind of giving it a pass for that. Well, 15-40 in all of the games. Definitely at least 3 of them. I don't remember the first one, I guess, but yeah, probably.
In the first set.
There was a question earlier about Mahach. Will Mahach beat Novak? I mean, Well, I don't know if he will, but he definitely is a contender to do it. He's been very good in this matchup. Dubai 2023, even before his main tour explosion, he was just like going toe to toe with Novak on the back and down the line redirections. Then, of course, last year he beat him in Geneva, which was a bit of a weird match. Novak not looking too great physically in the third set, a la the Tabilo loss that he had a week earlier. So perhaps there was something off there, but yeah, it looks like he can really just go with straight like toe to toe with Novak in that sort of like a baseline contest, and that will be very important. He could have a disappointing showing like the US Open against Draper or something like that, but we do have high hopes for that match to be competitive, considering that, well, both Faria and Basavaredi, they delivered in the opening 2 rounds, and theoretically, this is like the first serious test for Djokovic, who, even if he's playing well, even if he's playing better, does not have to have an easy time here. Is your stream also very much like misfiring at the moment?
No, mine's okay.
Okay, so the feed that I'm on, it's not my stream in terms of my stream just for myself getting ruined or something like that. The feed that I'm on, whatever that is, yeah, it's carrying a lot of issues at the moment, but we'll see. Hopefully, they just sort it out pretty quickly. You don't trust Mahac surviving a 4-5 set match against Novak? Is that because of the Opelka second round, or do you just generally think that?
There was also the cramping, wasn't there, in the United Cup?
Yeah, he also pulled out of Adelaide with a knee issue, but he's been fine here. I know Opelka not the most physical of matchups, but just wonder if it's a general thing or if it's because of something we've seen recently. I don't know. I mean, 4 sets seems a little harsh.
4 sets, win 4.
No, I mean 4 sets. Mahac not being able to survive 4 sets against Novak,
Okay.
that's really harsh to me. 5 set, yeah. I mean, I can't really disagree with that. As in, I probably don't share the same opinion, but I get it. But 4 sets, that seems a little bit out there. I don't think playing a 3-hour match against Djokovic is something that Mahac can't do. Their Dubai clash, I don't know how long it was for the 3 sets. Probably pretty quick considering the courts, but they went for like 2.5 hours or something like that. But yeah, the United Cup, we still probably don't know like the full details of it and what exactly was the issue for Thomas Mahac there. He did make that weird retirement a little bit more legit by withdrawing from Adelaide. I'm not saying that that's why he did withdraw from Adelaide, but
We've got a hold of serve.
Well, I wish I could see it, but this feed that I have, which is probably like the world feed or whatever, is
Okay,
definitely
so mine's fine. It's on TV, so it might be why. So we've got our first hold of serve. Sabalenka, Tauson got to 40-30 and eventually held. I had a feeling that we were still going to get another break at 40-30, but we didn't. So now Aryna Sabalenka under quite a bit of pressure in this first set, at the very least.
Well, still hasn't held, obviously. So.
There was a weird point when there was a moonball from, I think, Aryna. Oh, there's a moonball here from Clara, by the way, just in this particular first point of the game, and she's going to lose that point. But it was actually really good defense from Sabalenka. So I think she's recovering from a lob, I think it was. And then I'm watching her get a racket on her, which I knew she would. And I'm thinking, is this going to land in? Not only did it land in, it landed quite close to the baseline. She ended up losing the point, though. But from that moment, I thought she was going to win the point and win the game, but she didn't. An unreturnable, so we might be getting 2 holds in a row. Let me know when your feed comes back.
Well, I'm currently just trying to pull up something else because it doesn't seem like this one will. Well, no, they're probably working on it, but. Yeah, I just pulled up something else, which is probably going to be a little further behind you, but that's not really a big deal. Hopefully, they will fix the issue there. So, what's the TV station you have on right now?
Eurosport.
Yeah, I'm getting one from Eurosport too. So basically, the Eurosport feeds are fine, but the World feed or something like that is not. Anyway, yeah, it looks like we might get that first hold finally for Aryna. So 7 straight breaks, and is it enough for Clara to win a set? Of course, we'll learn sometime soon. The new balls when they came, I guess that was the new balls I came after 7 games. So yeah, indeed they held twice with the new balls.
She's getting broken quite often at this tournament, I think, like 3 or 4 times already in the first 2 rounds. Twice, I
I
think.
mean, she played Stevens, in the opening round, so.
But then she lost her serve quite a few times in the last match as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, quite a few times, like twice,
Yeah.
It's women's tennis, after all.
True, but
nothing
Sabalenka
out of the ordinary, I think.
I don't know, it feels like a bit more than it should be on a quick hard court.
Medium fast, I'd say.
And now, how many times has she been broken today? 4?
Yep.
I'm not quite here predicting doom, but yeah.
I don't know why I'm watching some pilot perform acrobations in the in the sky, but yeah, sure, go for it. Anyway, 36 minutes in, Clara Tauson stepping into the service line, and will be trying to serve out this set. Just one hold for her so far.
Good point.
But it was a second ago.
Have you seen the point?
I'm watching it now. Yeah, the Australian Open feed still basically dead, but I did obviously watch the point by now.
Great forehand winner down the line. First time Aryna Sabalenka's been broken 4 times in an opening set since San Diego in 2022.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of tough to get broken 4 times in the opening set because literally there's not enough space for it, right? I mean, you also have to break the opponent many times in order to even have the chance.
Okay.
If you get broken 3 times and you don't break a single time, you're just losing with bagel. So it kind of has to be a break fest in order for that to happen.
Good return from Aryna.
It's a real shot to win a set here, Tauson, 2 points away. Budas Maneiro served for it as well in the second set against Sabalenka, of course, leading 5-2. I mean, that's forehand cross court from Sabalenka to get to 30 all. Like that's. I mean that in most cases it does not land on the line. She does get the tongue out.
That was totally unnecessary. Yeah,
she does appreciate her her luck there, sort of. But yeah, the break point will come in the Yeah, with Tauson trying to throw in another one of these drop shots, maybe short slices. It's actually tough to say how long the ball was gonna be from her, as it is in the middle of the net. Hmm?
Didn't say anything.
Okay. Maybe it was an echo or something like that. Either way, what will Tauson create on this breakpoint? Considering the first serve was maybe at like Sabalenka's feet, standing at the baseline, you have to be a little bit worried about what she's going to be able to produce here. And indeed, and what she's going to be able to produce here is just a backhand error into the net. So the last 2 points, especially, they were kind of spotty from the young Dane. That's throwing in that slice or drop shot or whatever it was going to be. And then here, just not too much of an idea trying to hit that backhand at the middle of the court. But yeah, she did kind of give that away on the last 2 points. That 15-30 forehand winner from Sabalenka looking quite important in hindsight as well. As probably herself, she couldn't really believe that rolled into the court. So after 10 games, 8 service breaks, we are actually at 5-all again. And my feed is back, I guess. Yeah, my feed is back because they just switched to a Eurosport feed on that stream that I usually use. So yeah, that indeed was the issue. Eurosport has their own, and theirs is working for whatever reason. Yeah, Sabalenka missed that backhand down the line a few times from exactly this position already, but not this time. This one is just like dead on the line. It's going to be a very satisfying replay. And in fact, it is.
Comfortable hold.
I didn't know the brand Stiga now makes tennis rackets, Ozan. I have their well, I don't have the racket anymore in terms of table tennis, but I have their like box for the racket. But I don't know they now make tennis rackets now. Controversial take, but I think Diana Schneider is capable of winning a slam. I mean, it's not a controversial take, I don't think. You know, she has all like the entire career ahead of her. There's so much in terms of just like, yeah, the chances that she's going to be able to have and kind of being that second tier contender for years, maybe, if
She's
she
a dark
can
horse,
stay on top.
She's a dark horse here, right? So if you're a dark horse one day, that does suggest that you're going to be a horse one day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the dark horse here. I just think there aren't any dark horses really. Like nobody outside the top 4 is winning this slam, but you know, in the same way, like you could call Pavlyuchenkova a dark horse here, and like, yeah, I don't think this is a particularly good one. But
she's an outsider.
I mean, I think Schneider is an outsider too, is what I'm trying to say. At least for Schneider, like if someone takes out Sabalenka, let's say Clara Tauson does it here, then yeah, then her draw to the semifinals would get pretty open. Not sure how she matches up against Andreeva, but I'm pretty positive it would be a fascinating match to watch, maybe between the two young Russians. Of course, today first she has to beat Vekic, where they are also at 6-5 in the opening set. Vekic to serve, so a similar situation there with Vekic trying to serve to stay in it, whereas Pavlyuchenkova seems to be pretty much on the verge of demolishing Laura Ziegmund, but maybe the German veteran has something more in store. Pavlyuchenkova, of course, quite a veteran herself, and a few of these Grand Slam quarterfinal runs she's made already. Maybe this is one of them as well. The draw is kind of allowing for it. I think Maciej seems to be a big Sabalenka fan based on his chat messages so far. Let's see if she can indeed get that 7-5 break here. I mean, Tauson trying her best not to allow it, with the 30-15 forehand winner looking quite fabulous. Again, 132 on that shot.
Mm, 2 points from the set. Is it the first time I think Sabalenka's been ahead on the scoreboard as well? Oh, that's a nice angle that she's got there. Set point. She's hit 6 forehand winners compared to the 3 of Clara. That's a good serve, though. It's going to help her to juice. No word from Dr. Vanch today.
Maybe he has a surgery planned.
Being a doctor.
Being a doctor, there's not that much time to follow tennis.
You wouldn't have thought, but he squeezes it in somehow with his hot cam he takes. Ooh! Good drop shot.
We've had Tauson going for the drop shot quite a bit, and this time she actually makes it work on the second set point. It's kind of an insane play here, but that was the trick, especially as she's still able to put this away with the backhand here. Was not gonna be that obvious. And we've seen earlier that you kind of have to be pretty perfect with these drop shots against Aryna. But, well, it was just that. But indeed, third set point set up by the Belarusian. Tauson once again trying to be a little bit smart here with the forehand slice, try to switch it up, but she gets stretched to her forehand first. Well, this could have been a little bit more dicey for sure. You see Tauson approaching the net. You see an error coming. But I mean, yeah, I guess this time she didn't actually technically have to hit like any net shots. Really, it was still just quite comfortable off the forehand and then putting it away so close that it would be impossible to miss. So 3 set points saved already by the Dane.
She's going to get a fourth, though. Sabalenka.
Yeah, Tauson has been going for that second serve down the middle quite a bit, but it's got to be a bit more speedy than that, as Sabalenka is just bouncing on this right away with this 6-minute game. 4th set point. And once more, the set has been saved by Tauson, this time of a serve down the tee. Most of these even first serve points from Tauson will generally not be like unreturned serves, but this one was a little better. And she gets the shank because of that. And she actually gets another shank here. Was still kind of aware enough to keep trying to follow up if that return goes in somehow. But it didn't. So after saving 4 set points, we've got her here. Yeah, we can see on the replay. That's like, I don't think that's even hitting the racket at all. I mean, the heart of the racket whatsoever. It's just literally just the wood. Either way, gets the chance to get us to the breaker, which would be a pretty massive win considering the 4 set points that she's had to save. Neither of them consecutively, but still. Ooh. Well, the Aryna Sabalenka school of things here, as Tauson cannot believe that Sabalenka return went in, but there's no arguing with the Hawkeye live, and I do think she was a little optimistic letting it go. Not that she wouldn't have been in trouble if it didn't. Yeah, I mean, she's like shell shocked there after that is not called out. No, so maybe that was the point, the shot that will win the set, sorta, for Aryna. Okay, I mean, that was another like, oh no, Clara Tauson is in the forecourt vibes. But she did manage to actually play a couple of nice 4.5 volleys, including the first shot of the rally, but then later on. And yeah, she does get it done on the drive. Just like many WTA players, she does seem to be so much more comfortable on the drive than just playing a regular forehand volley. And one more game point for her. Almost 10 minutes on the clock now. And we will get the breaker. So she's got what she wanted. How many was it? Yeah, I think 8 service breaks in the entire set. And this one was, of course, it needed work from Tauson, 4 set points. I guess there was never really like a major opportunity for Aryna, but we had that clutch drop shot from the Dane, so certainly a couple of points at least that could have been the other way around. And well, fair to say that the underdog is really gonna be in trouble if she gets the openings, if she can't get this opening set. So she is kind of barely staying alive here. Most of the set, she's putting a ton of pressure on this Sabalenka second serve. I guess she's trying to do it here as well, but it actually starts. The breaker starts with a pretty lame error from her on the 132 second serve.
Ay.
Speaking of lame errors, not that much different for Aryna here in the forehand cross exchange. I can't even call it an exchange. They hit like 2 shots, but it was going to be an exchange. There was going to be an exchange if it went over the top of the net. There's a small net clip there. Yeah, I mean, okay, this was a difficult volley, but even when you see Tauson coming in now after the entire set, you do kind of start feeling sorry for her already. And yeah, but this was difficult. Yeah, sure, you don't have to land that. She is definitely a little out of her element. Handled that little net clip on the return pretty well, but then you have to move in a bit quicker than that. And Aryna instantly punishes the slower, higher return she gets here from Clara. So comfortable hitting from that deep middle position. Well, that's the return that Tauson wanted to hit on the first point. Aryna once again something with her eyes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I see that with the eyes again.
Yeah, she's indicating something, which who knows? But either way, she still took the point. Tauson able to get that return, exactly the one that she was going for in the first point, but netted it. Eventually, though, she's unable to create any major advantage here and ends up netting one of her next 2 shots. So a 4-1 lead now, which feels kind of huge, considering how many return points we've seen both women win on the entire set. It's just 4-2 now, and the change of ends. We're gonna get a replay of that Sabalenka +1 shot from deep middle. Tauson is not even that far from the ball, but still so much spin and pace that she's unable to even make an attempt to track it down. Couple of retosses for Tauson here. Maybe this is also what Sabalenka was suggesting with the eyes there, that she basically had sun in them. As of course this is coming right after they switched ends. Tauson going forehand line though. It's probably the best shot of the tiebreak so far, and it keeps her just within 1 mini break away. So far, a few times today when she was like pulled stretched wide to that forehand, and generally wasn't able to get the right timing on these attempts of pulling the trigger a little out of position. But yeah, this time it's spot on. 4-3 Sabalenka, and she's got the early lead here. Tauson doing a little better here on their punching attempts. And actually, yes, it's a phenomenal, like inside out backhand. 3 winners in a row for the Dane. It's going to be 4-0, 12 shots in this rally, which honestly could be the longest point of the match, more or less. But yeah, had to survive just a little bit of early pace from Sabalenka. And then when she finds that opportunity to strike right back, 2 ridiculous points from Tauson in a row. And now suddenly she's back in that set again. Saved 4 set points just before the breaker began. Sabalenka with a narrow miss. Could have been an ace. But of course still has the second serve. Tauson just cracking away at that return at her feet. So 4 points in a row for Tauson, and 3 of them pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, at 4-1, I thought Sabalenka was almost done.
Yeah, but I mean, Tauson is just not allowing her to play since. Like, it's literally just her demolishing every shot since and hitting incredible winners left and right. So it's 5-4 Tauson now. She was in a position to win actually at 5-4 earlier this set when she was serving for it. Now she has a 5-4 advantage in the breaker. So that's, well, is it better? Is it worse? That maybe time will tell. But yeah, from that sort of like streak of insane points, she now does give Aryna a bit of a cheap error on the backhand here. So 5 points all. I mean, someone will have set point here. Either a 5th one for Sabalenka or a 1st one for Clara. Coming right up after the Dane gets to serve. Once more, she is retossing on that outside. So maybe that's what Sabalenka was showing earlier. Ooh. But yeah, even off the first serve, I think Sabalenka is just instantly after that inside and backhand return. And she finds another ripper there. Second time of the match. So 5th set point, and this one is of course the first one that Sabalenka will serve at. Little disappointing for Tauson to go 4 incredible points in a row and then lose the next 2 on her serve, but I guess it's fitting for the entire set, really. It's been a battle. It's not always been that beautiful, or it's not always been that pleasant to watch in terms of just how aggressive they are, but here we are. And can she claim this? Yes, she can. So 7-5 Sabalenka in the breaker, and well, she was 2 points away from losing it multiple times. It never got to that set point for Tauson, though. She was unable to hold it 5-4. She was unable to provide anything on the next 3 points from 5-4 up in the breaker when suddenly that run of incredible play kind of ended for her. 76% first serves for Sabalenka, and yet we've still had this many breaks, this many struggles. Aryna going 4 out of 10 on break points. Clara 4 out of 4. The error count and the winner count definitely a little more pleasant towards Sabalenka, but here we are. I mean, either way, there's just one stat really that matters after the opening set, and that stat is Sabalenka 1, Tauson 0.
Yeah, very, very scrappy, but Aryna won't mind. And now I feel pretty sure that she's going to go on and win the match. I wouldn't say that I ever felt certain that she would win that set, but like I said, I think after 6 exchanges of serve, I was like, you know what? I think that if it is an absolute scrap, that eventually Aryna will hold serve often enough. Although I'm not sure I felt that way when Tauson was serving for her.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really what happened, right? I mean, Tauson was 5-4 up, and it wasn't kind of like the mini serve holds that got it done for Aryna, I guess.
But then even when Tauson fought back in the tiebreak and was up a mini break, I still thought that Sabalenka would end up winning that tiebreaker.
I don't know, John. I mean, you're just literally sitting here and saying, "Well, Sabalenka will win. Sabalenka will win."
Yeah,
Sabalenka will
that's
win."
what I thought. I always thought that she would win that set.
Very
Despite the fact
unpleasant to the underdog, to be honest.
out on the back foot throughout. And then when
Basically,
she had those
zero praise
points,
given to the underdog here. It's just
when
Sabalenka.
no, I think it's Tauson's done
Stream
great.
here.
I just always thought that Sabalenka would win that set.
Not how you sound on this stream, to be honest.
Sound can be wrong. I think Tauson did great, but I always thought Sabalenka would win the set.
Bold John there showing up.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's a brave prediction.
Ozan Vansh is not a medical, no.
Yeah, don't call him in an emergency. You might be in trouble.
Yeah, if you ask him for advice, yeah, that might be tough. What is the most common Polish dinner dish? Oh wow, I don't know, man. Is there something that is quite common? Kebab, probably. Or as we say it in Polish, kebab, with a different accent. I'm of course kidding. It's not a Polish dish, but it's a bit of a meme that like it's so popular in Poland right now that it's kind of becoming like a Polish thing. I know that most people would expect me to say pierogi, but the problem about pierogi is that they are very like tough to make. You need a lot of effort. You need a lot of time. So it's not really something we do on a regular basis. I guess I would say, okay, yeah, I can tell you what is the most popular dinner dish. So like we don't really eat dinner here, by the way. Like we eat around like 2 p.m. is probably the biggest meal of the day. And either way, the most popular dish that you're gonna see, it's gonna have two courses. The first one is just gonna be like some chicken broth, and then the second one is going to be a pork chop with potatoes and some, sides. That's going to be, well, maybe the pork chop right now is kind of switching towards just a chicken cutlet or whatever. But yeah, I would say that that's kind of like the most typical Polish meal. Like if you go to a Polish home on a weekend, everybody's there at 2 p.m. That's mostly what you're gonna get. Yeah, pierogi, I know it's kind of the answer that is expected, but reality is that most people only make them for Christmas. Tauson up against it in the first game already. Of course, we've seen so many breaks. Doesn't have to guarantee anything, but there is this danger of like, I don't know, running away now. Big effort as well, considering the physicality of the opening set. I know maybe the rallies weren't that long, but just the sheer length, match time, it does also have to come into consideration here. Just going for over an hour like this, not actually getting it done, must feel pretty brutal. And maybe this is where Aryna kind of takes charge. Another breakpoint here, number 3. Just going away, just like stopping away at that forehand corner continuously in this rally and eventually getting the job done. When the pressure gets a bit much on Tauson, and the third breakpoint right here. So I think she's now 4 out of 12 on breakpoints, which, well, doesn't sound great, but it isn't really a problem so far. Well, 4 out of 13 now. Jake is gonna learn Polish. Okay. Sure, go for it. I mean, it's one of the toughest languages, I think, for foreigners, but go for it. Only kielbasa and pierogis. Yeah, I mean, kielbasa, it's tough to call kielbasa a dish, right? Kielbasa is just part of a dish, really. Like, you can have it in many different ways, obviously. Yes, kielbasa is very popular here, definitely. But I would say that you can't really say that it's a dinner dish or it's a 2 p.m. meal dish, however you want to call it in Poland. In Polish, it's obiad, the main course that you eat at like 2-3 p.m. Anyway, you can't really call that. You're not. You can have kielbasa at it, but you're not gonna have it as like the main thing on the plate. It's gonna be part of something, like part of some sort of like one pot meal, for example. I don't know. But kielbasa pierogi, even though they are the most popular outside the country, I don't think that's actually what we eat on a regular basis most of the time. Kielbasa, though, could be very popular at like just different meals during the day. Who is the greatest Polish author? Wow, Sorna, that's quite the question. I mean, maybe Adam Mickiewicz. He's like kind of the Polish author in terms of building up the identity of the country during the time, of course, when Poland was not on the map. You can probably claim he was Lithuanian as well because of that, but either way, I guess that's it, because there's like a few of his major works that are seriously important in terms of, for example, the martyrology of Poland, as in like the country that has always suffered the most and lost all the battles, but still somehow survived. That's in his work Dziady, Part 3, or Pan Tadeusz, which is also called like a national, I don't know, poem. I'm struggling for a word. I'm looking for another word that's kind of irrelevant. Anyway, it's like the super long verse. Yeah, and then
incredible.
probably I would say Adam Mickiewicz maybe. Although there's been a few who, of course, gained a Nobel Prize in literature, like Czesław Miłosz, Wisława Szymborska, or Henryk Sienkiewicz, Stefan Żeromski as well, I think. So, oh no, sorry, not Stefan Żeromski, but Władysław Reymont. So we have a fair share of authors. In fact, just last a few years back, Olga Tokarczuk also won a Nobel Prize in literature. So I think we had like 5 laureates there. I'd say the Polish literature is strong, just as strong as this Sabalenka service game.
No one in the world is doing that serve +1. No one in the world can pull that off. That backhand winning that she did. The serve, the return of serve was good from Tauson at the feet of Aryna, and she had to adjust and really did well to win that point.
Not on the map, Ghosty. I'm talking about the map of Europe in 1795 to 1918. That's the map I'm referring to. Why does Silky look like he's in he's in hospital?
I feel like it at times. I'm getting a bit drowsy, actually.
I think Ozan, you're very right here with.
I don't even know how he. I mean, I know how his Twitter page looks at Michael Guy or Mikhail, but I don't.
So what don't you know?
How he looks.
I mean, I know what he looks like because he has a profile photo, right? So yeah.
But that's it. That's everything. But it's not that clear, and I wouldn't know what necessarily.
I mean, I wouldn't recognize him on the street. No, definitely not.
No.
I mean, it's probably. I mean, I'm assuming you must have been at the same event at some point.
Probably, but as I say, normally you would know these people, but I don't know him. I don't. I don't. Yeah.
I don't know. There's definitely like a fair few
Maybe
of
he
these.
just doesn't ask questions in press conferences, and therefore I don't notice him. Or he doesn't even go to press conferences, maybe.
I have no idea about his like body of work at all, because that's not something that is shared on Twitter whatsoever, right? It's just posting the orders of play and the what else as well? I mean, yeah, posting orders of play and draws. So
that's a meaty backhand return. Going to bring up 2 break points.
I have to kind of keep. I mean, right now there's nothing to really get that on, but I do have to kind of keep pushing you on some Tauson plays because.
I like Towson. It's just that Sabalenka return a serve there was great. The
No,
criticism
I
of
mean, I'm not saying it's the case right now, but like I feel like I've heard about 50 positive comments about Sabalenka. And, well, I had to push for one about Tauson.
Problem is the last 20 minutes hasn't been great from Clara, apart from that little 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, that 4-point stretch in the breaker, yeah, which was insane. But well, she did not keep that up from 5-4, and that was kind of the most important part of it. If this is a straight set win for Sabalenka, and of course, that's kind of how it's looking at the moment. That's what we're going to be looking at as well in terms of that. Maybe even a bigger opportunity for Tauson than the 5-4. Serve for a set advantage. Just 4 insane points like this, and then it all comes to a stop. But it also comes to a stop, of course, thanks to Aryna playing that well. On 5-all, she hit that insane in return again. And then 6-5, it's just a pretty easy cleanup on her serve. But it was the 5-4 point where Tauson hits an unforced error, and it's just kind of out of nowhere, considering what happened on the previous 4 points. Well, the breakpoint conversion stats for Sabalenka were getting very poor here at 4 out of 14, but the most important part is she claims that 15th breakpoint of the match, and she's got the serve and a break lead now. The tiger shoelaces once again on our screens, but yeah, she's not that far off now, or not that far away, maybe I should rather say. Yeah, I mean, you could probably make that case too. I think some Polish Catholics would probably say that Pope John Paul II is also one of the best Polish writers. There's this famous, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's encyclica in Polish, Fides et Ratio, which is what is it like? Something and either way, never mind. Translating Latin to English, please don't make me do it at 3 a.m. Anyway, yes, that's all I'm gonna say.
Clara.
Yes, Jake, indeed. Yesterday I think it was like she's not far away now, but actually still feels miles away or something like that. I think it was the other way around again for Emma yesterday, and for Mr. Chris. Chris is also a fascinating tennis Twitter user.
Yeah.
He kind of was in the school of saying a lot, but not actually saying much. That's for sure.
I forget about 6 months ago, he took a different take, and he said, "Well, I'm going to be doing this from now on." Oh, I think it might have been short podcasts, but either they weren't
He's
very
still doing the podcast, I think.
Oh, is he? But he's not promoting it as much then, maybe. But
I mean, he was. I don't know. I can't say when I last saw it. I think I saw him maybe posting an episode like a month, well, maybe like a week or 2 ago, and saying that he's sorry he hadn't done it more frequently or something like that. Hasn't been doing it more frequently.
I got the impression he'd lost enthusiasm for it.
Possibly. I mean, it was a project that was kind of doomed to fail. Sorry for the guy.
That's what I thought it was doomed to fail from the beginning. I also thought he was a bit too, like he was retweeting his own tweets, which I think he does anyway. But
yeah, he does it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, he literally posts tweets like, someone just won a match 6-6-3, and it could be about any level, really. Like, right? It could be like a 15-year-old playing their first ITF match, and then when that 15-year-old gets good, like, that's when he finds these tweets and he says, "Look, I tweeted about that person in 2019." But like, yeah, I mean, what you tweeted was 6-2 6-3. First, I don't know, just zero info whatsoever about that player. So it's kind of just like all names, really. Would I put Morgado in that bracket, DK? I mean, I think Jose is in a different school. Jose is in a school of not saying much and not saying much times 2, because he just says wow and oh. So, but as I said again, like I have a soft spot, I guess, for the guy because he was a lot more nice in person than on Twitter. So I can't just keep roasting him, but I do sometimes. I think yesterday someone was trying to go at me with the basically with me. Let's say someone said that I was downplaying Ledner Tien and contributing to the hype for Fonseca or something like that. That like overhyping him, and I'm like, I mean that's my opinion. Like the upside isn't really that close, and really that's it.
There's quite a lot of people angry about these Fonseca takes. I don't quite get it. They're sort of really
there are, yeah, definitely. And basically what I said there was that like, well, the way I look at it, my job isn't just to like report on scores, because everybody has internet and everybody can actually check who won a certain match. But I'm actually there to have an opinion as well. And I'm not just gonna sit here and say, oh, or wow. And obviously that was a slight dig at Mr. Morgado.
Yeah.
Which I think the guy caught as well, because he said, we see what you did
What's
there.
up, amigos?
That's a good intro.
John is looking like he's about to sleep.
I am close, yeah. I'm as close to sleeping as Tauson is as exit in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that tiebreak, that first set was entertaining, though. Good tennis.
I think yesterday it was sub boys for Vansh. Today it's sub amigos. No, Vansh, I mean, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get any Clara Tauson praise from John. He just spent the entire tiebreak saying something when Sabalenka won a point, but when Tauson won the 4 points in a row, he was just quiet. He just literally went away, I'm not even kidding. Like that was the case.
What about the last 2 points? The Sabalenka backhand winner?
Oh, I mean, yeah, Aryna, what a shot! That was John's reaction. Okay, now I'm exaggerating.
Do you have Aryna winning the tournament? Probably, right?
I do, yeah, I do.
Yeah, so bold.
Goes here throwing out a lot of minorities in Poland. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, yeah, all of them are like ethnic minorities or whatever. If you wanted to hear me say ethnic, you got it. And Vansh, there's a question for you, clearly for you, from Ozan.
Oh. Go back into my studying for med school, because
drink more water.
Yeah, hydrate yourself. Hope that helps.
Go see a specialist. That's what a lot of general practitioners do. They got no clue. You just go to them, you tell them what you do, what your problem is, and they say, well, you got a problem with your foot, right? They sort of have a look, have a bit of a touch, and they say, I think you should go see a foot specialist. And they get paid $200,000 a year for that.
Or you just take Tylenol, or I don't know what they call it in Europe, but
I'd love to go to the doctor, and then sort of the visit ends, and he just says, "Hope it helps."
Yeah,
you better damn sure hope.
You've got 6 months, but the first month will be all right. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
I think
just take a couple of pills of
it
acetaminophen every day, and you'll be good.
said some words there that I did not understand, but I guess.
Oh, acetaminophen.
Okay.
What is
You know what
metaphysics?
that is? Like Tylenol, or like if you have a headache or
Okay.
fever or pain relieving.
The second name you mentioned, I do recognize. So yeah.
Yeah.
My father was of the belief that just do, like, let's say cough medicine, yeah, it would say on the side, 2 teaspoonfuls of this and every 6 hours, whatever. But he was of the theory of just keep going until the cough goes. So if he would have a cough, he would actually have a swig of it as well, rather than take the 2 do that. Then if he's coughing again 10 minutes later, just have some more, which is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is like a limit on it, on
I
the
think so. You can
box.
certainly overdose on that stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah, but he's still alive. There are some people in history.
Any other matches right now?
People have drunk too much water, and they've drowned themselves by drinking like 50 liters in a day.
Yeah, you can overdose on anything.
So there's for Dr. Vanch's. Take care, Ozan. With I think he's thanking Dr. Vanch for the advice as well. But just take care. Don't drink. He says just drink lots of water and you'll be okay. I hope that helps. He comes back. I've drunk 40 liters today, and I think I'm on the verge. Well, I
Anytime
think
you're not talking, you should be drinking water, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but then if that was the case, I think Dr. Thatcher said take some salt tablets, and I hope that helps. Oh, double fault from Aryna.
Any other matches you guys are closely watching or following?
0, but I guess Pavlyuchenko was through.
Yeah. 6-1, 6-2. Vekic won the first set over Schneider, and Badosa and Kostyuk are on as well. To your question, not really. Yeah, in the first slot, this is kind of mostly what I wanted to watch, and then I guess the second one will be more men's action, so more suited towards my needs and wants.
Are you gonna watch Alcaraz versus Borges?
No.
No.
I mean, is there a point in doing that?
Yeah, if we learn something, I don't know.
I guess there's actually a bit of an argument for going to sleep right after this match, even.
I am.
Because then the best action, the best part of the action kind of restarts with Osaka Bencic and Berfils and
Mahat Djokovic.
Yeah, but that's sure. I mean, yeah. Just kind of talking with the restarting, but yeah, absolutely. So yeah, maybe that's what I'm gonna do, in fact. Watch this until the end and then try to get at least a couple more hours in before actually it feels like the next day of the Australian Open properly gets going. Seems like a plan, although let's see if Sabalenka can actually claim this into, as she is now kind of on the way to do.
I think I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. I'll see you later.
See you.
So we do have a break point here for Clara Tauson.
Yes, indeed. Another deep return. The match kind of lost a lot of its temperature since the start of the since the tiebreak was done. So maybe this could be a nice way for us to turn it kind of like back up in the intensity department. Well, gonna be tough if Aryna gets a serve like this in not much pace, but just the angle on it. Very tough for Clara to handle.
Ooh, but how about this return at deuce?
I've not seen it yet, as my usual stream has kind of fallen apart today. I don't think that's just mine too. It was like the world feed and the Eurosport. They started using the Eurosport one as well. Yeah, just one of these that's so short. They are actually uncomfortable. And we'll have Clara with some
same serve again that she did breakpoint down the first time, and it works to perfection.
I think Clara before this game was a perfect 4 out of 4 on breakpoints.
Yeah, the first 6 games of the match, it was all just breaks.
Yeah, 7 even.
And then and then 7 because then Tauson went up 5-3. She served forward at 5-4. Aryna breaks back. Tauson plays a really good 12th game, saves 4 set points all in pretty incredible fashion. And of course, she's up 5-4 in the tiebreak. She has 2 serves, but makes a backhand unforced error at 5-4, and then Sabalenka plays 2 great points to take the set. There's another really good net point here from Sabalenka, stepping into the backhand, going cross, and then putting away the backhand volley. I had to stretch for it a little bit, but no problem. Badosa, by the way, broke back against Kostyuk. She's won 3 games in a row. They're on serve here. Kostyuk and Badosa also played each other in the Australian Open in 2022. Badosa was coming off of the title in Adelaide that year. I think same round, 3rd round actually. Badosa won that in 3 sets. And yeah, that's a good hold for Sabalenka. Another backhand winner down the line. It was that kick serve short in the box again that kind of set it up. Took pace off the first serve. I think, Tauson definitely likes pace. So the more you can take pace off sometimes and get the ball above her strike zone, it's a good play to kind of set up that +1.
By the way, she used that same serve again, right, on game point. Yeah, it's been clicking. I mean, it's been working. Clara can't handle it, so why not? I think there was also lots of instances of it in the opening set. At first, she was just missing the +1 backhand, but here, like after she started landing that, this has really helped. Apparently, Sabalenka could become the first player to reach 5 consecutive 4th rounds at the Australian Open since Simona Halep.
Okay.
She could also win the title for the 3rd time, which would kind of be even bigger.
Yeah, that would be the first time this century that's happened. The last player to do that was Martina Hingis, 1997 to 1999. So she'd do something that actually Serena never did. 3 in a row here. So yeah, you could be in a situation where Iga has 3 Frenches in a row and Aryna has 3 AOs in a row. And they both just kind of keep claiming this slam.
Has Serena even won 2 in a row in Australia?
Actually, no.
I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah, because she lost the 16 final to Kerber. She won the 15 over Sharapova. And then before that you have to go back to 2010. So 2020 she beat Henin in the final.
I should probably say did as well, as I'm assuming that she's not coming back to claim this title again, but you never know. Retirements are not final in this sport of ours, but when you are 43 years of age, they probably are.
Yeah. Although I feel like she did win 2 in a row, now that I think about it, because 2009 she won. Yeah. She beat Safina in the final.
All right, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
2009 and 10 and 2011, I think.
Whoever she lost to in 2011, that was the player that stopped her from achieving that feat. Although
I
I
think
also don't think she actually played in 2011, so it was probably just an injury that stopped her.
She was hurt, yeah.
Oh, Clara Tauson, what a volley, considering how she's been looking at the net most of the match. That's some real technique right there. That's also good timing on the run-up, which has been like probably the bigger issue, actually.
Yeah. Kostyuk, by the way, really going after Paula Badosa's second serve, which can sometimes be vulnerable. So she has 3 break points. Oh, by the way, today we got news that Darren Cahill will no longer be working with Sarah after the end of this year.
At the end of the season, though, right?
Yeah.
So, well, it's still gonna be 10 months from here, but yes. I mean, it's okay. I don't know if it's shocking or not. Like, I don't know if I was thinking about it actively. Probably I was never really like thinking about, whether Sinner will be working with Cahill for a longer time or not. But I think you could kind of also assume that he's gotten most of what he could out of that partnership. I mean, the improvement was just insane.
Oh.
And now it seems like he could very well do it without Cahill, right?
Yeah. Badosa really painting the line on another forehand. A good unreturned serve before this. So she saved 3 break points here. And she's managed to get all the way back to deuce. Sabalenka also here. This really monster forehand. So that 40-15 game got really complicated.
Who are my commentators in Eurosport? I don't know, Ozan. I mean, I'm watching without sound on, so I'm gonna be, I would have to like really listen to it closely.
Yeah, I like that Joe pointed out that Bagnosi is the main coach, because I feel like in this whole super coach era, we often forget about the main, like who the main coach actually is, a lot of the times.
Why is this match so bland, says Ghosty. I mean, similar play styles, lots of second serve, return aggression. So, we had the break fest that wasn't just due to the players, I don't know, serving poorly or something like that. I mean, they just are going after each other's second serve so much. Obviously, it's a huge part of their games. And after the first set, it kind of is like this a lot of the time, right? If the favorite survives a very tough opening set, gets the early break in the second, that's when some of that excitement, some of that buzz goes away for a bit. But who knows? I mean, Clara had 2 breakpoints in the previous game, right?
Yeah. And she does hold here. So. Also, Tauson is at a career high. Tauson's career high is 33 in the world. She's at 39 right now. She's just come off of winning a title, so.
Yeah, that's true. Simone Vanozzi definitely doesn't get enough credit just because Cahill is the bigger, more well-known name, and everybody just assumes that like that's the guy who's doing most of the job. Of course, it was cool that in the like Coach of the Year awards and all that stuff, right? They were always mentioned together. But yes, indeed, it's seemingly also not even Darren who's responsible for a lot of the technical changes. So. Or technical, rather, like tactical and stuff. So yeah. Wayne Odesnik and Varvara Lepchenko, really? That's a wild duo. No, impossible. Impossible, Jake. No. I don't buy that. I think you are kidding. Wayne Odesnik, especially, but Lepchenko played the Australian Open, so probably not. Of course, Swarna might also be right that Daria is actually Iga's main coach. Will we be staying on for Burnley against Zverev? I'd rather not, I think. As I said earlier, I think after Sabalenka Tauson, I'd rather go simply because I think there might be a bit of a window here still for me to sleep a couple more hours and then watch the rest of the action, which seems to pick up, for at least from in terms of my interests, a little bit sort of like later in the day. But we'll see. Maybe Clara Tauson pushes this match to a third set. Maybe it's going to be a 1 hour 30 from here. And then my opinion or rather plans are also going to change. I see your pierogi photos, Ozan.
Well, I don't. I mean, I think Joe can definitely get to top 20. Like basically anything from like I don't know 20 to 50 in the world is pretty good for this year for Joe. If you look at like Alcaraz in 2021,
For Joe,
he finished the year 33. Sinner in 20. What year was it? 2020? Yeah, Sinner 2020. He finished the year like 37th. So you just use those guys as benchmarks.
Yeah, what we have to remember is that the Alcaraz 2022 season is not what you have to be looking for, because yes, Carlos won the next gen finals at the end of 2021, so technically there is a comparison there. But Carlos, when he won the next gen finals, he was already a US Open quarterfinalist, and it's definitely a more like direct line with Sinner actually, as they were both like almost outside the top 100, I think, when they won the next gen finals and everything. So yeah. Top 50 is the minimal expectation when it comes to that Nick range that he offered in that Talking Tennis article, whereas anything above that is kind of a little bonus for now.
But yeah, if people actually think he's going to get to the top 10 this year, that's pretty insane. To have that kind of expectations on that guy right now.
Yeah, sure. Eubanks also played the Australian Open. I mean, I could imagine Varvara Lepchenko commentating on the Australian Open, but Wayne Odesnik, I don't think he is. Wayne Odesnik, I mean, I don't think his ban includes commentating on tennis events, but if they are doing it live, then he probably couldn't do it because he's forbidden to enter until like 2028 or whatever, whenever his ban ends.
Oh, what a forehand from Clara Tauson here at 40-30. So it was the aggressive second serve return, pins Sabalenka back, puts it on her heels, and then really good forehand here behind Aryna. 138 kilometers per hour, whatever that is in miles per hour. But Ghosty, no, like Fonseca is a way different type of prospect than Prismic. Like it's not even close.
No, yeah,
No
we didn't go
comparison.
through all this before.
Yeah.
Fonseca, I mean, we did go through all this before, actually, with Alcaraz.
Oh no, but I mean, he's talking about Prismic.
I know.
So,
I'm just saying we did go through all this with Alcaraz.
with Alcaraz, yes.
Yeah, with not with Sinner really. I think it was a different level of kind of like hype and certainty as well for a while. Obviously, then Yannick developed into an absolute machine. Whereas I think with Alcaraz it was very much the same.
Yeah. But Sinner, I mean, he finished 2020. He finished 2021 like 10 in the world, right? And then 2022 he finishes like 15th.
Yeah.
But he has all those tournaments where he's like getting to the quarters, and then like not going further, and then didn't get any points for his Wimbledon quarterfinal run. So it's kind of like he felt underranked even though he was 15.
Yes, a lot of people were claiming at the time that he is pretty severely underranked.
Yeah. But still only one title that year in Umag. Of course, he beats Alcaraz there, and he beats Alcaraz at Wimbledon. They play that epic match at the US Open. So yeah, I mean, he made 3 major quarterfinals, but he finished 15th. So yeah, it definitely, of course, then.
Well, there's more breakpoint action coming for Clara Tauson. 5 minutes in this game already.
Yeah, I don't know about Medvedev, to be honest. He is definitely trying. He's trying to add more power in his forehand. He's trying different things, but I don't know, might be one of those cases where in certain matchups he's just going to struggle unless he just, I don't know, keeps serving like 2021.
It's always been like that with Daniil, more or less. He's just had these Manarinos, Bautista Aguts, Simons. Lerner is very much in the, in a similar type of opponents.
Yeah. I wonder if there are just more players now who can just,
Ooh. It's a spicy wrong footing forehand from Clara Tauson, and she does get the break back. Of course, if John was here, he would be like completely quiet right now for the next 2 minutes until Sabalenka starts winning points again.
Well, this is a good development, huh? In terms of competitiveness.
Oh yeah, I mean, in terms of competitiveness and the excitement levels for the rest of the set. But yeah, let's see if it actually turns into something quite pivotal for her to hold here and actually follow up that break. But this was great. I mean, she did have a lot of good, just early attacks of the return here. Looked a little more comfortable even when she had to follow something up in the forecourt, or when she had to hit off a slice for Aryna, which hasn't also been too natural for her in some parts of the match. And yeah, now it's just a question of whether she is able to keep that up.
Yeah, we have a 16-shot rally here to open the 9th game. Sabalenka was back the pass.
Speaking of the approaches from Tauson, this was also not one of her finest, but well, it was kind of forced by that as a Sabalenka slice there, inviting that sort of a play, and it worked out perfectly for Aryna with the 2-shot pass combo.
Yeah, by the way, Badosa ended up winning that set 6-4. She saved all those breakpoints at 4-all, the 4 of them. And then she converted on her own first set point. So
seems like a very competitive set, despite the 6-4 scoreline.
Yes. And then you also have Vekic, who broke back against Schneider, and they're at 5-all in the second. Vekic won the tiebreak 7-4 in the first set.
Tommy Paul already 2 breaks up on Roberto Carballes Baena. This is the first men's singles match that began today. Well. I mean, I guess we're not really expecting all that much from Mr. RCB there, but he did have a very good run to the 3rd round.
Yeah, beat Tabilo.
And
who seems to be losing to everybody these days. No offense, but yeah.
Yeah. At least his last 2 losses were very tight, though, right? The one to Nishesh and the one to Bonzi, but not this time. Well, some pretty amazing forehands here from Tauson with the inside-in winner, and now she gets to the net. Again, kind of leaving the space wide open for the pass, but this time Aryna is unable to produce it.
Yeah, by the way, Kostyuk defending quite a lot of points in the first 1/3 of the year. So
yeah.
This is an important event for her. She also has a Grand Slam final to defend coming up soon.
San Diego. I mean, she can't even defend it, they killed
her. They're not even holding it this year. So how can she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna have to play another event, which surely won't have the same the same facilities, the same organization, the same panache about it as the San Diego.
Won't have the same. You won't have the same interviewer in the press conference as well,
Yeah. It won't have the same Brits dominating it.
Yeah.
It won't have Brandon Nakashima.
It won't have the main. It won't have a tennis app as the main sponsor.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, from 40-15 up, we're actually entering another potentially drawn out game here. And Schneider breaks, and she will serve for the second set against Donna Vekic. And I say that because in that match, I don't think breaks of serve have been that common compared to Sabalenka Tauson. Although Sabalenka Tauson, I guess the second set is very different too, as we have Clara approaching the net once more. On that drive, she's a bit more comfortable. There is some space for the lob from Sabalenka, but it's not going to be quite good enough. Actually, 3 breaks now, I guess, for
I suppose
Schneider.
if you're also a Medvedev optimist, you could say, well, he was pretty jaded by the end of last year. He and his wife just, had their second child. He didn't play any warm-ups. Look at what he did in 2023 after an early loss at the Australian Open. So I think all hope is not lost on Medvedev just yet. Like, I can't just write the guy off, based on one early round loss in a hardcourt slam.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really time for it yet. I mean, he faced
3
someone
good runs.
who's...
I mean, the last 3 hardcourt slams, he's done a final, quarterfinal, right? And he's lost to the winner. So
he ran into a player that was, well, is definitely going to be a problem for him for the future, just because, well, Medvedev is probably the guy who can inject pace the least out of the entire top 50 or top 100 even. So yeah, but obviously there are some causes for concern. If you are an optimist, you might be looking at it as well, like, okay, his off season was not really ideal. There was still the shoulder thing. There was the becoming a dad and spending more time with his family probably than hardcore practicing. But yeah, I mean, if you want that second slam for Daniil, then that door is closing, and if he wants to get in there, he has to do it pretty soon, you would imagine.
Yeah, I think last year I was still in that camp for half of the year where I was like, okay, what's more likely, Zverev winning his first or Medvedev winning his second? I still went with Medvedev winning his second. Now I don't know. Now I think...
Oh, presently it's Zverev, I think. Yeah.
No, it's Zverev, yeah.
It's easily Zverev right now. And I'm not only talking about this slam, but even going forward, yeah. But yeah, of course, yeah, I'm also not really willing maybe to write off Medvedev quite yet. But it hurts, this loss. I mean, obviously he made the final last year, so there's just such a big chunk of points there.
Yeah.
Hasn't dropped that much in the rankings itself, in terms of the position, but we know that he will also have some moments in the latter half of this season where he doesn't defend much, like the Cincinnati Canada double, for example. Well, yeah, I mean, there's no positives about today for Medvedev. Let's just say that. There's just literally not a single thing you can say that's yeah, I mean, it makes this loss acceptable or something like that. No, but we probably still have to give him a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Well, this game is once more just turning into a massive just clash between Sabalenka and Tauson, and whoever wins it will have so much momentum going into the next one. Of course, with Sabalenka potentially serving for the win if she can get it done. She has a break point here.
And you'll see Tauson's response in a minute. Or in 5 seconds, maybe.
Yeah. Not a break point anymore, as Tauson finds an ace down the tee, and this is her third of the match. Aryna hasn't had a single one yet.
Yeah. By the way, I'm also going to pay more attention now to the Schneider-Vekic match because they're in a second set tiebreak.
Oh, so Donna broke back with Diana serving for it.
Yes.
And yeah, this match might be getting closer to the finish line as well. Tauson with the nice inside-out backhand.
Yeah.
So she's
By
going
the
to
way,
get another
inside-out
chance.
backhands are just such a nice shot. Every time I see them, I'm just like, yeah,
You
it
probably
takes
enjoyed 4-all in the breaker then, right?
Yeah, I did. It was a good shot.
Her best one. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't 4-all. It was
5-all or
4-3. 4-3.
5-all, 4-3.
You mean 5-all? 5-all
4-3.
that would have been inside in, right? From Sabalenka, the
Yes,
return.
yes. 4-3, I think, is what I'm.
Yeah, 4-3 was that Clara backhand winner. That was 4-3 because 4-all it was the return at Sabalenka's feet, which like barely touched the baseline.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You mean Vekic, Jake? I mean, I don't know if I agree because I just don't know her.
Vekic. What about Vekic?
There was something about her being like not that pleasant on the court, but great off of it or something like that. Anyway. You can now see why Nurlan has gone into hiding.
Kostyuk also up a break in the second set. She does consolidate it. This tiebreak is on serve so far. Beckett is serving at 1-2. Ace out wide. So now 2-all. Tauson still getting to game points. Has Aryna had a break point in this game so far?
Yep.
She did, yeah. She had one.
That ace down the tee that Clara hit.
Yes.
That was on a break point.
Yep.
Yeah, Jake, some pretty strong contenders indeed in that male-female category. I think almost everybody Ghosty feels more comfortable with the inside-out forehand, unless you're like Aslan Karatsev, Richard Gasquet, Elmer Miller.
By the way, inside-out forehand winner. But it was the backhand initially that set it up. The backhand cross flattened out with a lot of power. Vekic has to lift up on the ball, and then all of a sudden, inside-out winner. Good footwork there from Schneider.
Tauson not doing quite enough on that inside in and getting burned by the counter, so the game is still going. And with every passing minute, with every passing deuce, it's definitely like the importance, the relevance of it. It does kind of go up. 11 minutes and 45 seconds already.
So that is the mini break for Vekic, for Schneider in this tie break that she is now exchanging ends at 4-2. Of course, these two also played in a WTA 500 final last year in Bad Homburg. It was won by Schneider, one of 4 titles that Diana won last year.
The only player to win the title on all 3 surfaces, I think, the last year on the WTA Tour. Which is a very good achievement. I mean, obviously, these weren't slams. These weren't WTA 1000s or even 500s, but nonetheless. Well, one more breakpoint for Sabalenka, and indeed it is her second of the game after that ace down the tee earlier. And, well, could very well be a virtual match point, especially considering it's a second serve. Aryna is already like planted with her feet onto the baseline. Gonna attack Tauson here.
Let's see what happens in a minute.
Oh, Clara going to the net? Is it? No. Okay, yeah.
She got trapped in the no man's land.
No man's land, yeah. I mean, maybe it's some of that recent, losses that she's had at the net. not allowing her to commit to that fully. But yeah, she stays like a little bit further behind.
It's been a key thing in this match, I would say. Clara's hesitancy at times in the net, which I totally get. But yeah, that's like one area in the game she gets a little bit better at. All of a sudden, could make a
Yeah,
difference.
it would improve her ceiling. I mean, just in terms of like the hitting contest, she's definitely been right up there with Aryna, but the movement and especially the way she transitions to the forecourt, that's not close. Like that's
The
just
ball
a completely
striking
different game.
has been pretty even. Also the aggressiveness on the second serve return is comparable from both.
Yep.
Aryna, but Aryna has better movement and she has a better transition game, so that's the difference. Yep, Schneider continues her break advantage in this tiebreak. So 6-3 now. Kostyuk, by the way, is on a roll in the second set here. She's placed some really good points defensively, but also finding it tough to finish against Kostyuk's speed. And 15-40 here. Badosa's going to come forward on a down the line approach, and then the point is just going to reset with this backhand lob from Kostyuk. But on the next point, which is break point for double break and second serve, I'm going to tell you what happened in a minute. As, by the way, Schneider has just taken the second set 7-3 in the tiebreak, so we will have a third set over there. Of course, this is the Junction win section that just kind of blew open. I mean, the winner of that will play Pavlyuchenkova now.
Yeah, and if Clara Tauson somehow beats Sabalenka from here, that's like kind of the players that would be the most happy about it as well.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that backhand trade is going to go into the net from Badosa, and so Kostyuk is up 3-love. Of course, she was also up 3-1 in the first set, but that was just one break. Now it's 2 breaks. Let's see if that cushion is helpful for Marta. Tsitsipas is in the crowd. He's wearing a hoodie, dressed in a red sweatshirt. Although he doesn't seem to be in the player's box, he just seems to be randomly in the crowd, like in the third or fourth row.
Okay. He's trying to hide.
Yeah, clearly. And that's why he's wearing the hoodie. It's so hot outside. Okay, 15-30 here. A little bit of pressure for Aryna.
He's gonna be on double duty today, as after Badosa, his brother is also gonna be playing in the doubles. And well, he's probably gonna lose considering they're facing Arevalo Pavic.
Oh yeah, they're losing that. Inside out forehand goes a bit wild, so 2 break points. The second serve was good, right? And she got the ball that she wanted.
She did surprise Clara there.
So maybe another twist coming here. 15-40. Oh, and she goes after that return. Once again, Sabalenka took a lot off of that first serve. I think just to try to get it in and maybe, throw an off-pace serve. And that was right in Clara's strike zone, but she misses the return. Tried to go down the line with it. And for a while, it looked like it might be a clean winner, but it was just wide.
Yeah, kind of the trademark here for Tauson. So of course she's gonna be disappointed to miss it, but at the same time, obviously had to take that risk. I think in the opening set there was a similar one, which it's just like directly into Clara's hitting zone, and that one she went cross court and won it.
Yeah.
This time, of course, the first serve does a lot more work for Aryna here, and she's just 2 points away. trying to put this match to bed, and it's not been an easy affair. It's over 2 hours already, even though we're not even in the second set breaker or anything like that. But she is 2 points away on serve now.
Yeah, and the forehand winner was her 19th of the match. Oh, and she's going to hit her 20th here at deuce. As once again, the serve and the first serve plus one was neutralized, so she had to hit one more forehand, but then she had the whole court open, so she goes cross court. Tauson can't really do anything there. So match point from 15-4 down. 2 hours and 6 minutes on the clock.
Two-time defending champion Aryna Sabalenka trying to serve her way into the Australian Open fourth round, where she would play Andreeva or Freuch. One of these is more dangerous than the other. Sorry, couldn't resist. Either way, let me see. Let me take you guys.
One of them is a WTA 500 champion. One of them isn't.
Oh, it's actually a lead cord on the second serve here. Yeah, one of them is a WTA 500 champion. One of them just a 250, right? Mira just a 250 merchant, essentially.
Well, Sabalenka lets the ball drops a little bit to her chest height, and she hits a backhand better down the line. So that was a very good finish to what was a very competitive match, right? 2 hours and 7 minutes on the clock, and had to work really hard in both sets, extremely tight. So yeah, very good test.
I mean, Tauson served for it, right? Tauson served for it in the opening set. There's a 30-15 point there, where Sabalenka is just like trying to hit her forehand into the open court, and she overcooks it, but it barely lands in. And that could have been 2 set points for Clara. But of course, that didn't happen. Then Aryna is in the tiebreak. She leads 4-1. There's a ridiculous 4-point stretch from Tauson, but she gives her a bit of an easy error, and Sabalenka is so quick to just like pounce on this. 5-all, of course, in the breaker. She finds that insane winner, inside and backhand return down the line. And then 6-5, she also plays a very good point to convert her first set point. Her fifth set point by that point, but her first on serve, since she also had 4 at 6-5. And yeah, very competitive, definitely like a break fest. I know that some people will be complaining and saying peak WTA. I've seen comments like this already, but this is just mostly both players slamming into each other's second serves. Like, this is just how aggressive they play. And at some point you just kind of realize that, well, Clara is a little bit behind in this comparison because of her lack of fluidity as a mover, because of her lack of a transition game, really. But she was trying to like mix it up a bit more than Sabalenka as well, because she needed to. There were a couple of nice drop shots, some slices, ideas in there that could potentially
the slices
maybe
were
work
especially
in her
effective
game.
in the first set as well. It was very effective in getting those breaks and getting the forehand in her strike zone. So it was a very enjoyable match, I think, overall. And
I think so, yeah. You could have enjoyed a few more longer rallies could have been good. That's fine. Okay, we know what sort of tennis we're going to get from players like Sabalenka and Tauson. And I think there were some really nice bits of ideas from Tauson there in terms of being the player who actually has to, kind of realizing that she is the player who has to mix it up a little bit more at the very least to avoid some of these issues we were just talking about. But could have gone either way, really, both sets, and she definitely has to be proud about this performance. I think that at the very beginning of the stream, I also said that we're basically where we are with Clara's career right now. Obviously, the health is the priority, but with how her last few seasons have been, basically even a competitive loss today is kind of a win, and that's still, I guess, where I stand. It was actually even this competitive where I think she's gonna be a bit disappointed.
Yeah. I think she'll be a little bit disappointed, but overall, some good positives that you can take into for the rest of the year, and hopefully she stays healthy, and then we can see more matches like this between her and top players. And now, like you said, Freuch or Andreeva next.
Yeah, we keep mentioning that Anett Kontaveit win for Clara at the Australian Open 22, but well, I mean, Anett never really performed at the slams, so this is actually kind of more impressive, even though she lost. But of course, it
And
was
she
a
almost beat
massive win,
Danielle
right?
Collins, I think, as well. She was up a break in the third, loses 6-4 in the third.
Yeah, in
Collins
the third round.
ends up making the final. So
that was definitely like the height, I think, of Clara as a prospect a few years back, and it seems like now maybe we are getting there where she can kind of top that. And of course, again, the health will be the most important, but she had no issues today whatsoever with anything, so hopefully the physicality has kind of got better as the time went on. What's vamos in Russian? It's davai, but I think that Jake has already told you that. Swarna keeps saying that Świątek is playing better than Sabalenka. I think it's very hard to make that comparison, just because, well, they're facing different opponents, and we will kind of have to just wait and see how they get along later. Of course, Sabalenka, I know she's not been like that comfortable this event, but when she's facing adversity, she's there.
yeah, one thing we do know now for sure is that Coco will not be number 1 at the end of this tournament, because that was a possibility, although a minor one, if Świątek loses before the third round, and that won't be the case. So,
are we surprised there's not more tennis pros coming down with skin cancer later in life? I guess, but then again, do we know about all the cases of skin cancer and everything? Probably not.
Well, you know what the best way to prevent that is? You do a
the Legionnaire hat from Mark Polmans.
Yeah, or you just do a Cameron Norrie and wear sunscreen.
Yeah, Cam Norrie wears I wanted to say a curse word, but a load of sunscreen on his face.
Yeah.
My favorite mispronounced player, Mr. Andre from the United States, who won 8 Grand Slam titles, also wears so much sunscreen whenever we see him at events. But I think the best way is still the Mark Polmans hat. I mean, it's not actually, it's sunscreen, but I have to mention that every single time I can. And that's pretty much it. Did Norrie just get lucky winning Indian Wells post-COVID? Ozan, don't ask this on a stream with Bunch.
What do you mean lucky? I mean, he beat the
I mean, he did get lucky in the sense that his draw was ridiculous to win an ATP 1000. Was it related to COVID? I mean, it was 21, it was October.
But, I mean, he beat... Okay, yeah, I mean, he had some good momentum built up that summer, and then,
I mean, from San Diego, Vanch, yes. His draw was ridiculous
from the
to win an ATP 1000.
He beat Grigor Dimitrov, he beat Diego Schwartzman, he beat a peaking Nicolas Basilashvili, who beat Zverev and Fritz in the quarters and semis.
Yes. I mean, let's start talking about who these guys beat along the way.
Yeah, so I think, we should talk about how all those players coming from Laver Cup that year, they they couldn't get far enough. And so you had Cameron Norrie winning.
I mean, it's not the first time that happened. Who did Jack Sock beat to win the ATP 1000 in Paris? Nobody special.
I mean, I would say compared to Jack Sock, this was a more,
yeah, probably. Although Sock did also follow it up at the ATP finals.
Yeah. The similarity is they both had one match earlier in the week that they could have lost. For Sock, he could have lost to Kyle Edmund in the opening match where he was down 5-1 in the third set. And Norrie, he was down in the third set against Albert Ramos Vinolas. So he could have lost that.
Either way, these weren't the toughest ATP 1000 titles. Definitely not. Is it somewhat unexpected that Cam has the 1000 title? Yes. But was he the best player in Indian Wells that year? Yes. So that's kind of how we have to look at it, I guess. Felix Auger-Aliassime made the Madrid final last year, and that's what I'm going to say. And yes, you're right. I mean, now that I'm looking at the entire route for Jack Sock for the 2017 Paris title, the Norrie one was tougher. In case anyone is interested, that was Krajinovic, Benetov, Verdasco, Pouille, and Edmund.
So no comparison really, I think.
I mean, Pouille at the time, 2017 was a force. Verdasco indoors quarterfinal, that's already kind of easy. And then Benetov, of course, that was his last big run, and Krajinovic, his best run of his career. So, Sock's title was weaker. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I said something nice about Kamnori. There you go. All right.
Relatively, it's kind of
So
a backhanded compliment. I'll
what's
take
the
it.
plan from here? Because honestly, I'd be kind of tempted to get off the stream, considering there's not that much that I'm
Yeah.
interested in for the next 2 hours, and I'm just gonna try to
I
get our
think we can end it here, since the plan was to mostly just do this match. Until
Sok is now a pickleball superstar indeed. Yeah, we will have a stream for Mahat Djokovic. In all likelihood, I will be part of that, but I can't promise it yet since, Australia time zone and everything. But I will try. I will try. That I can promise to you guys. And yeah, thank you, Vansh, for joining me for the latter part of the stream. John was also here earlier and was not enjoying Clara Tauson's great competitive performance against Aryna Sabalenka, but he will enjoy the fact that Sabalenka is in the fourth round. And of course, she's still very much. I mean, we can say that she's a tournament favorite, right? Even if a lot of people are picking Coco, I guess Aryna, like percentage-wise, is still the tournament favorite. So. She's still there anyway, and she keeps fighting through tough opponents and tough matches this year. Thank you to everybody, all the male, females in the chat, and all the male/females. And we'll see you shortly in a few hours on Talking Tennis on the Mahat Djokovic stream. So yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, the producer is not around, so I guess. So I'm just gonna end it. I think, yeah. All right.